Find the nearest kobold and grab that candle because things are about to get dark. The Elune Truth Saga continues in part 2.5, unveiling our speculative 11.2 raid and zone prediction. That's right, the finale of the War Within. Last time we discussed the roots of Elun'Ahir in Khaz Algar and the enduring legacy of Elune's balance in the form of decay, spreading from the roots as a network of fungal mycelium. Today's report: fate of the Mereldar, Lightforged Temple Ship, and the darkness below Hallowfall. Let's start with what we know so far about Hallowfall and that mysterious broken strobe light bursting through its ceiling. Said to have inhabited the area relatively recently, a kingdom of ancient Arathi humans has built their capital city named Mereldar in the massive cavern of Hallowfall, under the holy light of a giant crystal sun. Previews from BlizzCon show that the crystal has begun to waver between light and void states, plunging Hallowfall into darkness and allowing the terrifying Nerubians of Azkahet to assault the people of Mereldar. But so far, the crystal has returned to its light state, renewing hope in the hearts of the Arathi. Now, we've all seen this light and void cycle before, in the example of the Naaru, the luminous beings introduced in the Burning Crusade. And it's got us thinking, what's the deal with that crystal and why is it acting like a Naaru? In our tease from last episode, we suggest that this crystal with its holy light and the planting of Elun'Ahir with its spirit of life were different means to a common result, driving away a dreadful darkness below Hallowfall. So why is it jammed in the ceiling like that then? Surely Elun'Ahir wasn't planted underground. And where's that crater that the legend mentioned? Well, the Titans like to cover their messes up, and I propose that the ceiling in Hallowfall is a secondary layer of earth, a cover over the crater left behind when Aman'Thul destroyed Elun'Ahir. After the war was won against the Black Empire, the Titans and their keepers reshaped Azeroth's surface, earth, sea, sky, and all, a blank slate to start anew. As seen in the Tomb of Sargeras and Uldir, the earthen crusts of Azeroth seem to be layered, with cavernous gaps visible between them. Now, the name Hallowfall likely stems from the hallowed crystal that fell from the sky. But based on the legend of Elun'Ahir, and if we agree that those roots are in Khaz Algar, the timeline suggests that the Black Empire was conquered sometime after the planting of Elun'Ahir, with the world later entering a new age, and mysterious guardians arriving to protect the roots. The new age being the Ordering of Azeroth, and the guardians potentially being the Earthen of Khaz Algar. Now, let's get back to our mysterious 2,000-year-old holy light worshipping Arathi friends, and how their capital city is a clue to what lies inside that crystal sun. Many players have noticed that this anomaly in Hallowfall is reminiscent of interdimensional Naaru ships, like the Exodar, the Genedar, the Zenedar. Seeing the pattern? And it's very possible that if this is also a ship, then the name Mereldar could originally stem from this vessel. See, the Arathi have named their capital Mereldar based on a priestess who was instrumental in forming the Church of the Holy Light. But what if her name was divinely inspired through the Mereldar in Hallowfall that her followers would eventually find? In Chronicle Volume 2, it is said that the once renowned warrior turned holy priestess, Mereldar, began experiencing visions of the light. Quote, in her dreams, Mereldar saw 5 strange forms, not human, thrumming with holy power. They filled her mind with the wisdom of holiness, protection, justice, retribution, and compassion. When she put their wordless teachings into practice, power seemed to flow through her. And in Chronicle Volume 1, quote, human priests began having visions and dreams of angelic beings, geometric forms that thrummed with living light. Although they did not know it, the priests had actually communed with the Naaru in the great dark beyond. Seems like those 5 strange forms that Mereldar dreamed of are probably also the Naaru. But which ones exactly? Fact is, we don't know. This juicy tidbit was just left hanging in Chronicle Volume 2 and was never touched on again. And we don't find out what happened to the priestess Mereldar, perhaps until now. Because I think that the War Within will finally answer this question with the mysterious appearance of the Arathi kingdom in Hallowfall. Remember how I said these ancient Arathi humans inhabited the crater relatively recently? At BlizzCon, Maria Hamilton said that the Arathi have arrived through somewhat mysterious circumstances, and that it's not the spooky mysterious, it's the other kind. If we combine this tease with the new canonical lore added in WoW's Season of Discovery, we get a pretty good idea of how these dots connect. I would wager that the 5 strange forms in Mereldar's dreams are in fact 5 radiant Naaru dwelling inside the crystal sun in Hallowfall. Not only that, but the crystal itself is a giant Naaru-piloted ship like the Exodar, named the Mereldar. I think that the human priestess Mereldar and her Arathi followers found this fallen crystal in Hillsbrad Foothills, based on their dreams of a falling star, and were teleported through time to Khaz Algar, arriving at a future date closer to when we meet them. And that's how millennia-old Arathi find themselves out of place in modern-day Hallowfall. So, if the Mereldar is a ship, how and why did it come to Azeroth? And why did it arrive when it did? Even I can't say for certain yet. Maybe the sun spat it out at us, or maybe it's part of the Grand Army of the Light. But one thing is probably true. The Mereldar ended up in ancient Kalimdor, where modern-day Khaz Algar is, for a reason. Is it just that the Holy Light and Naaru want to claim Azeroth's world soul for their own? Or is there perhaps a more righteous purpose for its journey to Azeroth? And if Elune is indeed the creator of the Naaru as suggested back in Legion, how does she play into all of it? This is where our zone prediction for patch 11.2 comes into focus. Let's dive deeper, literally, into the abyss that lurks beneath Hallowfall, which for now we'll coin as the Cobyssian Depths, a realm where the echoes of Xal'atath's corruption reverberates through darkened waters. At BlizzCon, we learned that the Arathi are beset from below in 2 separate ways. The Nerubians in Azj-Kahet, and the less familiar and new to the lore, Cobyss, terrorizing the kingdom from the underground sea in Hallowfall. All we know so far about the Cobyss is that they seem to be based on deep-sea creatures like the anglerfish. We don't know yet why they're attacking the Arathi or what their goal is, but it's fair to think that we can do some educated guesswork. See, the Nerubians are gathering the black blood of the old gods for Xal'atath's dire machinations, and are probably attacking Hallowfall in an attempt to plunge the Mereldar crystal and its Naaru inhabitants fully into darkness, as their queen Ansarek has struck a bargain with Xal'atath, creating void-ascended Nerubians. So what if the Cobyss have been similarly enlisted by Xal'atath for her dark plans? Or even juicier, what if the source of these nautical nightmares deep beneath the underground sea in Hallowfall is directly related to Xal'atath? As the poster villain for the War Within, Xal'atath, Harbinger of the Void, is sure to play a big part in the lead-up to Midnight. And it would only be fitting that her battle-scarred past comes to light during this expansion. During the days of the Black Empire, Xal'atath is said to have been destroyed by her brothers, the other old gods, as they warred for supremacy over Azeroth. And she was imprisoned in the Black Blade artifact, wielded by shadow priests in Legion. So are there any remains of Xal'atath's body? In Chronicle, every other old god is said to have had massive bastions fortifying their bulks of flesh, a temple complex devoted to each god while they reigned, and Xal'atath shouldn't be any different. You see, the war within the underground expansion focused on the heart of Azeroth allows Blizzard a second chance at redeeming what was to most players a disappointing finale to Battle for Azeroth with patch 8.3 Visions of N'Zoth. Ny'alotha's setting as just a raid instead of a fully explorable outdoor zone left many wanting more, and 11.2 might just be the satisfaction we need. Picture this. Deep beneath the crystal-lit sea and below the roots of the first world tree, in a vast deep-sea cavern lies the festering remains of the old god Xal'atath and her shadowed acropolis. Around her decayed corpse sits the ruins of her ancient domain, a blackened husk of malice, lined with obsidian labyrinths and towering obelisks, all dramatically lit by the bioluminescence of bizarre fungal flora and dark flowing waterfalls. Imagine a place where the alien beauty of Zangar Marsh meets the twisted nightmares of Ny'alotha, all within an undersea cavern that breathes with the terror of 1,000 unseen horrors. Eerie lights among sunken temples, and a realm where the sea's darkest creatures have been twisted by the lingering influence of the slain old god Xal'atath. There, she has employed the frightening Kobis to her cause, just as she did the Nerubians in a final attempt to empower the Dark Heart with her own remaining essence and unleash its shadow upon the Mereldar. Our race to stop her plans leads to the new raid of 11.2, Mereldar, the Fallen Star. In this chapter, we enter the crystalline temple ship and traverse its radiant corridors, reliving the cosmic grandeur of the Tempest Keep. As we storm the hallowed halls, the entirety of the raid's surroundings shift between light and void on a dime. The massive sparkling walls and floor beneath our feet change dramatically from golden, hope-inspiring luminance to a violet, fear-inducing shadow. This unique flickering of the Mereldar offers a visual spectacle never before seen in the world of Warcraft, as we make our way to the potential pilot of the nethership, the darkening Naaru. Here, the champions of Azeroth face Xal'atath herself as the final boss, and as the battle progresses, we find our efforts come too late, and the fate of the Mereldar is sealed with the endless hunger of the void. Xal'atath successfully completes the final prophecy, ushering in the coming of Dementius the All-Devouring. And the Mereldar itself erupts in a violent explosion, the void-imbued shards bursting out and floating in the skybox of Hallowfall. And finally, the official logo of Midnight is realized. A shattered sun, the shards of the Mereldar enveloped in the true cosmic void. As the dust settles in the aftermath of the raid, our heroes stand amidst the ruins of what was once a beacon of hope for the Arathi people, with its scattered fragments now a grim testament to the power and malice of the hungering shadow. But this is not the end, oh no, far from it, serving only as prelude to an even greater cosmic collision. As the shards of the Mereldar twinkle like malevolent stars in the skybox of Hallowfall, they signal the beginning of Midnight, the apocalyptic confrontation of shadow and light, a battle for which we know there can be no true winner. As Elune's endless cycle torrents ever onward, the answer lies in striking a balance between the two. And who better to embrace this eternal conflict than the mortal champions of Azeroth? Folks, there's one giant piece to the puzzle that we've yet to touch on, so stay tuned. Part 3 of the Elune Truth Saga will unveil another cosmic mystery, a magnificent destiny, and take our first steps into the coming of Midnight. Thank you for tuning in to this pivotal episode of Knowledge Wars, where the truth isn't just out there, it's buried under layers of old god corpses and titan machinery. Remember folks, you are the resistance to the hour of twilight.